and welcome to Guided Resilience Movement Meditation Practice and a Chair Yoga Flow. I'm so happy that you're wanting to continue your practice on your own, and I'm happy to provide this very basic flow for you to integrate into your use when you can't make it to class. This is going to be very basic, guided by our mindful pause. So take your stop to take time to set up your movement practice space. If you have a mat, great. Otherwise, be on a comfortable surface. Have a chair that feels stable, that's not going to slide on your floor, and have space for you to move freely through a variety of our poses. Let's settle into this stop now for a mindful pause to stop and breathe, think and choose. 4 steps that are our pathway to settling into body, mind, and spirit, what we seek. Let's allow ourselves to feel grounded and present for this practice in our stop. Allowing ourselves to feel the presence and support of the earth beneath us, and our wish for connection with the divine through long spine to the crown of our head. This is the practice of yoga, union with the divine, bringing our hands in prayer pose to our hearts. This is an integrated practice, one that mobilizes the intelligence of the body, the mind, and our spirit, fully inhabiting our being so that we can move with clarity and confidence into our becoming. More and more, becoming a master of our moments, not a victim of our day. The second step of mindful pause is to breathe. Gently guide your breath into a restorative balance between the in-breath and out-breath. If it helps to count, you can count 4 or 5 counts to in-breath, balanced with 4 or 5 counts to out-breath. Smoothing any jerks or pauses in the breath becomes our anchor to the present moment. It becomes our guardian of inner peace. It becomes our teacher, helping us to see when we've lost ourselves to distraction or unnecessary strain. For the think step of mindful pause, with our balanced breathing, let's move into a flow with our prayer hands that move from our heart, our head, into the heart. This is a moving meditation, wishing to bring our mind into our heart. And as we move in this gentle flow, consider what it is you seek today. What grace, inspiration, or guidance do you need to meet your day with your best self? Ask and we'll receive. It is by setting intention do we open up to possibility. Let's bring our hands down by our side. Let's give the shoulders a roll. As we become more attentive to the present moment. We notice when tensions arise, like in our neck and shoulders. So breathe easy through the neck and back, change direction. Nice, and we're gonna roll through the wrists. Our hands will be bearing some weight in this practice, so let's take care of our hands and change direction. We can do a little fist, recognizing tension and release. And this is by sustaining that mindful pause presence. We stop when we notice tension. We breathe to release tension. Staying awake, staying present to our experience moment by moment. Let's bring those soft hands down by our side, flow back as we move into our heels. Rotate from the shoulder, palms up, we roll to the balls of the feet. Sweep through on exhale. In breath, lift. Out breath, flow. In breath, lift. Out breath, flow. This is a nice reminder that we practice on the mat what we wish to bring into the flow of our lives. So practicing the mindful pause steps to stop, which is inviting us to be awake moment by moment, to breathe. Our breath is our self-regulation, the first access point of self-regulating. And then we think more and more with a growth mindset, remembering the grace that we seek, remembering our essence, and releasing what moves us off our mark. And we choose. Let's anchor our feet, lift tall to seated mountain. This is how we be more and more the resilient mountain, present, lifted up. Nice deep in breath. Hands soften on out breath to our knees. Let's move into a cat stretch. In breath as we lengthen through cow. Here you connect this movement with your breath, moving at a pace that suits your body, moving in a range of motion that is satisfying. Sitting tall, we practice our first twist, hand to opposite knee. Opposite hand rotates lightly to your chair, keeping the knees parallel. We rotate from the trunk, soft shoulders and open heart, chin turned over our trail shoulder, and we breathe. Our twisting posture is our detox. Exhale what disturbs you, what takes you out of alignment with your highest self. Exhale the sensations of frustration, disappointment, comparison, all the traps of an unregulated mind. And just release, no judging, just allow those distractions to pass. Come back to center, hands at our side. Let's take a cleansing breath. Prayer hands pull into being. Receive the grace that you need. Opposite hand to opposite knee, move into twist. Shoulders down and away from the ears. When we turn away from what distracts us, we open up space. What do we want to turn toward? What will your grace that you seek open up for you? Try to get more and more clarity on who you are if you are free to be your highest and best self, free of distraction. Turn toward this image of your being. Gently unwind the twist. Do this with the grace you receive from the divine. Pull it into mind, body, and spirit. Nice work. In breath, stretch tall. Move into side bends. On out breath. In breath, tall. Out breath, side bend. In breath, tall. Out breath, side bend. In breath, tall. Out breath, side bend. Nice work. In breath, tall. We're going to hinge and fold in a forward fold stretch. In breath, engage the core and rise, lifting arms tall to seated mountain. Out breath, hinge and fold. In breath, rise. Out breath, hinge and fold. In breath, rise. Out breath, hinge and fold. And we rise. Prayer hands pull in to mind, body, and spirit. More and more, finding ourselves in alignment with what we seek. Let's pull our feet in just a little bit. Hands sweep to behind. You can use the chair for support if you like. We're going to take an in breath and stand. In breath, tall. Out breath, hinge and fold. Soften the knees and hips. Open up with in breath and rise. Stand here in mountain, knowing your resilience and strength, anchored in presence and peace. Now we're not going to sit in our chair. Our hands are going to come through mind, body, and spirit, and we're going to take chair pose. We'll release our hands and lift to mountain. We'll pull into chair. In breath, rise. Out breath, pull. In breath, rise. Out breath, pull. In breath, rise. Out breath, pull. One more. Rise and hold that chair pose. Knees in alignment forward, shoulders down and away from the ears. Give your hands a little press. Give a little bit of work for 3, 2, 1. Standing in mountain. Let's take our chair now and turn it so we have access to the chair seat. We're going to hinge to our chair seat, and I want to do just a little warm up of the shoulders. So we're going to do a shoulder protraction and retraction. You sink and you press. I'm not bending the elbows, I'm sinking into the shoulders. We've done this a long time ago. This is our Goldilocks exercise. Remember, we don't want to push too far out of the shoulders. We don't want to sink too far into the shoulders. We want to find that neutral position. Let's stay here now. Light engagement of the core, belly button hugs the spine. Micro bend in the knees. They're not really bent, but they're not locked. A micro bend. And let's move into our spinal balance. In breath, opposite arm and leg lengthen. Press through the heel as if trying to touch the wall behind you. And return. Opposite set lengthens. And return. Now move with your breath. And let the breath guide this flow. Practice letting go of any artificial urgency. No hurry. Notice and take a mindful pause. Stop and breathe. Think and choose. Be present to the full experience of extending your length. And be present to the sensation of returning. Following the breath. Lengthen and returning. Sensing into shoulders and hips, that they remain balanced as you extend into spinal balance. Finishing the one that we're on from our tabletop, we'll dip one arm underneath. This is threading the needle. And then we'll lengthen and open the heart. Out breath, we fold. Notice you may feel a natural tendency to pedal your legs as you do this. Knee dipping to the chair to open, Opposite knee dipping to fold. In breath, open. Out breath, fold. Getting a nice rotation of the trunk. Finishing the one that we're on, we'll move back to tabletop. Opposite side, we'll dip. And we'll open. And dip. And open. And dip. And open. Last one, we dip. And we open. And we land back at tabletop. Nice work. Here we're going to rise and stand. Take an in breath tall. Pull hands into the heart. Notice sensation as you practice. Connecting, remembering to connect to breath. Practicing throughout with your mindful pause. Stop when you notice sensation. Breathe to self-regulate any discomfort. Think, how can I move into deeper presence and be with my body in a way that meets my aim? And choose to return. Let's take our step now and open up. Toes open to the corners of the mat or at your floor. And we're going to do our moon goddess pose. We're going to lengthen one leg as we stretch, tracing the edge of moon and pulling back to moon goddess. Reach and pull. Reach and pull. Now you can sit as deep or as shallow as you want to sit in your moon goddess. Mindful pause allows us to savor the teachers, the reflections of the divine that help us on our path of well-being. And the moon is a great teacher, helping us remember that our lives move through phases, teaching us that we can be reflective, being awake to whatever season or phase we might be experiencing. Let's sit in moon goddess. The moon reflects the light of the sun, reminding us that no matter the phase we're in, perpetual light is always present. And like moon, we can be cratered, imperfect, but always whole. Always whole. In breath tall. Out breath open to star and turn our toes perpendicular to the mat's edge. Hands come down to behind our back. Interlace fingers send knuckles toward the earth. Shoulders roll open. Lift through a buoyant heart. A light lift to our chin. A micro bend at our knees. Breathing as if the breath is moving in and out of the heart. Remembering the grace that you seek. This mindful pause for you to put yourself together in body, mind, and spirit. What do you need today? Gently release. Give shoulders a roll. Change direction. And then we're going to step back to our chair seat, bringing our hands to our heart. We're going to reach tall and mountain. Out breath, send our heart toward the earth and our arms toward the earth in a forward fold. In breath, send your right foot back. And this is our long lunge. Send your trail foot long, sink our hips. Lead knee does not pass our toes. Hands are light at the chair seat. Let the legs do the work. Long through the crown, shoulders down and away from the ears. Nice deep in breath. Out breath, transition to your version of downward dog. You may move your feet in slightly. I want you to feel your tailbone lengthening toward the bottom of your mat. Head down between our arms, enjoying a gentle traction as our hands hold lightly at the chair seat. In breath, glide forward to a plank. Out breath, just hold the plank, warming the inner fire of our core. Our heels are long. We lift through the pelvic floor. We squeeze through the buttocks, shoulders down and away from the ears, elbows a micro bend. No unnecessary tension in the head. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1. Push back to downward dog. In breath, step your right foot forward. We're in lunge on the opposite side. Using chair for balance. The heel lengthens long. We're active through that leg. Lead knee stays behind our toes. Our crown can lift, and we breathe into stretch in our legs. Nice deep in breath. Out breath. Bring the trail foot forward to forward fold. We root down in the present moment. We rise, arms open to infinite grace that we receive from above. Prayer hands pull in, transforming our mind, our body, our spirit. These practices of presence and devotion are what allow us to feel vibrant, alive, participating in the sweetness of creation. Let's move with breath flow as we move through that sun salute. In breath, tall to mountain. Out breath, fold to chair seat. In breath, send your right foot back to lunge. Out breath, sweep through to downward dog. In breath, forward to plank. Out breath, hinge the elbows just a little bit. In breath, sink the hips and extend through the elbows in a version of up dog. Out breath to downward dog. In breath, right foot forward to your beautiful lunge. Out breath, forward to forward fold. We root down, we rise. More and more confidence, more and more clarity. We pull into being in body, mind, and spirit. In breath, tall to mountain. Out breath, we fold. In breath, send your left foot back first. Out breath to downward dog. In breath, forward to plank. Out breath, hold the plank or sink that little push up. In breath, sink the hips and lift to an upward dog. Out breath, push through to downward dog. In breath, bring the left foot forward. Find that long lunge. Out breath to forward fold. We root down moment by moment. We're awake with mindful pause. We rise. Seeking union with the divine, we pull into being. Nice work. We're going to take the chair. You can stay here. I'm going to have you do a knee lift. We've done this in class. Your eyes can be out. Your brain knows where that chair seat is. So from mountain pose, arms are going to be in here at our side, a nice hug. Shoulders down and away from the ears. We'll take a knee lift. Press with the opposite arm. Pull back in. Opposite knee touch and pull. Reach and pull. Reach and pull. Reach and pull. Breathe with the work. Eyes forward. Feel into our feet. Work at a tempo that meets your aim for today. You can move slower if you want to challenge more balance, if you want to move with momentum, if you want to add a little chair sit. Nice work. I'm going to give you a few more seconds here. Work in a way that meets your aim for today. Keep the one knee up on the chair seat. Sun breath lift. Hands come through the heart. Extend out to that knee, opposite hand, and find another gentle twist. Nice work in that effort. Gently unwind. Return this foot to the mat. Sun breath. Hands through center. Opposite foot to the chair seat. And into twist. Nice work on those legs. We unwind. Foot returns to the mat. Sun breath lift. And hands. Let's take our chair seat so we have access to the higher back. Here I want to do a chair, mountain, side leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chair, mountain, side leg, 5, 4, 3. Add the arm if you want, 2, and 1. Chair. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Mountain. Out breath, hands to side leg, last set. We're going to get 5 more for 15 repetitions. 3, 2, and 1. Turn and face your chair, step back, and a downward dog. Here we're going to do a little core work. You're going to use that chair back just for a little balance, knee drive. Back to downward dog, lift, and land, lift, and land. Hug that knee into chest. Allow your back to lift. I want you to really feel your core, pull that knee in. I'm tapping my chair seat to kind of mimic that moving through a downward dog posture to pulling a leg through to a lunge. You can do this however you like. Finishing the one that you're on, walk our feet in. I'm going to turn the chair over to the opposite side so I can stay facing the computer. Nice work. And we move into chair. Same set of work on this side. We're going to move from chair to mountain. Exhale to chair back. Side leg lift. 5. Micro bend in the supporting leg. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sitting chair. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Lift. Land. Side leg lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Sit in chair. Last set for 3, 2, and 1. We rise. We land. We lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We land. The shoulders roll. Step and open to star. Nice work. When we come to the mat and we do this work, we are building energy. We're gaining insight. We are establishing our light, our energy toward our highest good. Hands to behind the back, interlace fingers, knuckles to the earth. Lift the heart to the divine. Remember the grace that you seek. Let it pour in. Gently release. Give the shoulders a roll. We're going to get just a little bit of warrior work in today. Turn your toes to one end of the mat. Then you're going to follow those toes. Hinge the knees do not pass the toes. Trail foot comes to a slight angle. And then we lift to our warrior. This is warrior 2. Here I want to use warrior 2 as our vision pose. So eyes out over your fingertips and envision yourself manifesting your activities today with the grace that you seek. See yourself transformed, filled with the spirit, the grace that you want to enliven. This let the trail hand land at the back of the leg, lift to the divine. Be clear on what you ask, bringing in the grace that you seek. And then return to your warrior 2. Clearer and clearer you see this manifesting in through your being. Nice work. Straighten the lead leg, rotate the toes forward, hands to our hips. A little bit of work for the trunk here. Belly button hugs, pelvic floor lifted, superhero hands on hips. Micro bend at our knees. We are strong and grounded. With a micro bend at the knees, we hinge. And we rise. And hinge. And rise. And hinge. And rise. Here's 4. And rise. Here's 5. And rise, that warrior work, giving you strength. 6, giving you clarity. 7, giving you your power. 8, manifesting change. 9, one more. And this is your light. More and more becoming a master of your moments. Turn toes to the opposite end of the mat. Angle the trail foot. Hinge on that lead knee. This is your warrior 2. There is a deep inner satisfaction, even a joy, when we can be clear about who we are and how we want to live and move and be in the world. See it in your warrior 2 pose. Ask in peaceful warrior for what you seek and what you need. Move that into your warrior 2. Lift and ask. Breathe into the heart what you seek, and then move into your warrior 2. This is your practice daily to pull into being. Nice work. Lift and open, rotating feet into star. This is your light. Hands to hips. You are your own superhero. Hinge from those hips. Stay here. Free the hands. And we're going to work here with micro bend at our knees. Reach one arm and pull. Reach the other arm and pull. Reach both arms and pull. Let's do a single arm and pull. Single arm and pull. Double arm and pull. Single arm and pull. Single arm and pull. Last double arm, pull. Hands on our superhero hips and we rise. Open up. This is you taking off that suit of the ego, the clothes that we bury ourselves in. And we open up the heart. This is me. Here I am to the divine. Let me be the light in the world that I am made to be. Nice work. Bring hands into the heart. Toe heel in. Hands down by our side. Give a little shake. It's time for a little balance. Good warrior work. Adding to your strength and your power. Now we need to know our rootedness. Have your chair handy if that's going to be helpful. You can anchor into one foot or the other. Open up. I'm going to actually stand close to the chair. Open up. You can simply play with your kickstand. This is time for you to work the proprioception in your feet. So no judgment. Don't care if you wobble. Don't care if you have to refix this. All of it is work. Waking up the proprioception in our feet. If you can lift your kickstand and hold, great. Keep this hip hugging in. Keep this hip open. If you can move to calf, great. If you can extend one arm in tree with jubilance. If you can free the other hand, even for a moment or two. Breathe in your tree. Know your rootedness. It is from your rootedness in what you value, believe, and ask for that we move into our fullness, bearing fruit. Gently release. Do a little wind sweep. Let the arms be loose for right now. Just sweeping around the body, letting them land where they land. We come to the ball of the foot, so we're careful with our knees. And then we get intentional. Let's take a soft fist to our hands, tap at the heart, tap at the kidney, free in between. Great. We're going to move to the opposite foot. If you need to move your chair, move your chair. Standing, anchored, rooted, open through the opposite hip, hugging into your trunk. Play with kickstand. Move to calf. Staying open, staying really connected through your core. You can open up. Single arm. Double arms. Work that proprioception. Feel into the earth. Lengthen toward the divine. This foot's a little more wobbly for me today. And then soften. And wind. And tapping. Nice work. And then return to chair seat. Here, I want you forward on the edge of your seat. I want to recline for a little core work. Belly button hugs the spine. Actually, I'm going to turn my chair here so you can see this good. Recline, tummy tight. Extend one leg, arms open. We're going to hug that knee in for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let that leg stay long. Use chair if needed, otherwise arms open. We lift through the trunk. We hinge forward and stretch. We can use support at the folded knee. We can stretch same side arm for length if you want to reach to a toe. In breath, rise. Recline. Arms lift. to behind the ears. This set, you still have the same leg reclined, arms just resting behind the ears. We're not pulling our head. Fingers just light behind the ears. You're going to take that same knee in and you're going to rotate up off of the back of your chair to crunch. Lengthen, crunch, lengthen, crunch, lengthen, crunch, lengthen, crunch. Getting a little obliques. We have 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit tall, hinge and fold here. Stretch that back. Relax the core. And sit tall. Hands across our heart. Recline for 5. Lift. 4. Lift. 3. Lift. 2. Lift. And 1. Stay at the chair seat. Extend the opposite leg long. Open the arms up. And here we go. Hug and return. 9, 8, 7. Working on that hip mobility. Hug it in as close as you can. 5. Even outside toward your armpit. 4. 3. Work a range of motion that feels good to you. 2. And 1. Nice work. Extend that leg. Hands to behind the ears. We have a set of obliques. Lift. You're going to lift off of your chair back and rotate into that knee. And crunch. And crunch. And crunch. And crunch. We have 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We sit tall, hands across the heart. Last set. 5. Crunch. 4. Crunch. 3. Crunch. 2. Crunch. And 1. This time, that leg you just worked, hinge and fold into stretch. Support at the folded leg. Reach through the extended side. Careful not to put any weight on a locked knee. Nice work. Let's sit tall. Give the heels a rise and lower as you roll through shoulders. Let's bring one leg up and across into number 4 posture. Hand to the sole of the foot, hand at the knee, hinge into stretch. Breathe into that hip. Breathe up to sitting, release that leg. Give it a shake, give it a massage. Notice what you notice. Pull up the opposite foot into number 4 posture, opening that knee, holding at the sole of the foot, hinge forward into stretch. And gently lift up. Nice work. Give the shoulders again another roll. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. Draw chin to chest. Sense into any feedback you're getting. Try to surrender the weight of the head. Feel the relief. And stretch down the back of the neck into the upper back. Gently rise. Take our hands, give a little fingertip massage to the scalp. 3 fingers, a light freeing. Breathe away the distracting thoughts that you know might take you off of your aim. Peace fingers. Massage the jaw, 1 finger in front of and 1 behind the ear. Let your fingers move to where you can find tension. Stay there, massage where it feels right and satisfying to you. And then hands rest, palms up in our lap. We've arrived back at stillness. We've taken this mindful pause to stop and be awake, present to our being. We've connected to the breath, recognizing its power to hold us in the present moment and to transform us out of artificial urgency and back to inner peace. From this place, we think, we remember, who am I? What is my light, my grace, my gift? Who am I and how will I show up in the world today? We've imaged it, we felt it in our bodies. Bring hands to prayer pose, now we choose. We have opportunity moment by moment to stay awake, to remember, to come back to being in body, mind, and spirit. May it be so. Peace. Namaste.